Hello Cowboys Nation, welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. Dallas Cowboys urged to make shocking blockbuster trade ahead of NFL draft. The Dallas Cowboys have spent much of this offseason collecting disappointing former first-round picks, but may be on the cusp of trading one of the most talented players on the roster ahead of the NFL draft. Even after the Cleveland Browns made Myles Garrett the highest-paid pass rusher in the history of the sport, Micah Parsons' contract talks don't seem to have much momentum at the moment with the Dallas Cowboys, a year after Jerry Jones and company signed playmaking wide receiver CeeDee Lamb and quarterback Dak Prescott to mega deals of their own. With the NFL draft nearing, might the Cowboys be about to dangle Parsons on the trade market? Micah Parsons, the Dallas Cowboys' most valuable trade chip. Pro Football Focus Bradley Locker put together a list of each team's most valuable trade asset ahead of the draft, including Parsons on the list for the Cowboys. There's no name on this list bigger than Parsons, Locker writes for PFF, whose contract situation has yet to be resolved despite players from the subsequent draft class already being extended. Over the past 3 seasons, Parsons trails only Myles Garrett in PFF overall grade, 93.7, and PFF pass rushing grade, 94.3. The Parsons trade discourse has cooled for now, but Dallas can't delay this forever. We saw CeeDee Lamb hold out of camp and nearly force a trade to pressure an extension from Jerry Jones. If Dallas knows it can't pay what Parsons desires as early as the draft, then all bets are off. Trading Parsons would be a sea-changing move for the Cowboys, that in a lot of ways would raise questions about why Dallas committed to Prescott and Lamb last offseason, but Jones could easily follow a similar playbook to those 2 deals and wait until summer to sign Parsons to an extension. However, if Parsons does become available, there's little doubt that the Cowboys could fetch a bounty of draft capital in return for one of the most disruptive and game-altering talents at a premium position who could be the caliber of player who puts a team over the top. Cowboys on verge of losing star free agent wide receiver to AFC bottom feeder. The Dallas Cowboys have plugged some holes over the first week and a half of free agency. The frenzy has come to a screeching halt, and that may remain the case until the NFL draft. There might be a little surge of signings post-draft when teams have a better idea of holes they need to fill. As far as the Cowboys are concerned, it's looking increasingly likely they'll spend a high pick on a wide receiver. NFL Network's Daniel Jeremiah projected Texas receiver Matthew Golden to Dallas with the number 12 overall pick in his latest mock draft. It remains to be seen if Dallas will add a receiver before the draft. They reportedly made a run at Cooper Kupp before he signed with the Seahawks. Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb even recruited Kupp, but the 31-year-old's contract demands were ridiculous. If the Cowboys want to sign a wide receiver, there are a number of proven vets still braving the free agent waters. However, one of them, who is widely viewed as a strong fit with America's team, is on the verge of signing elsewhere. Cowboys are about to lose free agent wide receiver Stefon Diggs to the Patriots. Stefon Diggs, older brother of Cowboys cornerback Trayvon Diggs, is visiting with the Patriots, per The Athletic's Chad Graff. Albert Breer of Sports Illustrated added that Diggs had dinner with the coaching staff Wednesday night and will undergo a physical on Thursday. While an agreement seemingly is not imminent, there appears to be mutual interest on both sides. The Patriots are Diggs' first reported free agent visit. A 4-time Pro Bowler, Diggs suffered a torn ACL in October. Before the injury, Diggs was on pace to catch over 100 passes and post over 1,000 receiving yards for the Texans. He had 47 catches for 493 yards and 3 touchdowns in 8 games, as the number 2 behind Nico Collins. In what was considered a down year for Diggs in 2023, he tallied 107 catches for 1,183 yards and 8 touchdowns. The jury is still out if he is still a top 10 wide receiver when healthy, but at worst he's a high-end wide receiver too. While Diggs has a reputation of causing distractions off the field, he's been on his best behavior since he was traded out of Buffalo. At 31 years old and coming off a serious injury, he's not in a position to demand a lucrative salary. He'll likely ink a one-year prove-it deal before hitting free agency again next offseason when he'll potentially have a bigger market. That checks all of the Cowboys' preferred boxes. However, if any team was to overpay some for Diggs, it's the Patriots, who made a grandfather offer to Chris Godwin and expected to be players for T. Higgins before he re-upped with the Bengals for $26 million per year. Cowboys identified as ideal landing spot for free agent linebacker Kazir White. The Dallas Cowboys have actively reinforced their linebacker unit in free agency, addressing depth concerns caused by DeMarvion Overshown's ACL recovery, Eric Kendrick's free agency status, and Damone Clark's slow development. They recently signed Jack Sanborn and traded for Kenneth Murray, which has significantly bolstered the position. However, ESPN's Bill Barnwell suggests that Dallas should still consider adding Kazir White, a talented and versatile free agent linebacker. White, who transitioned from safety to linebacker, has been a highly productive player in the NFL. Over the past 4 seasons, he has recorded more than 100 tackles in 3 of them, missing that mark only in 2023 due to injury, when he still managed 90 tackles in just 11 games. Last season with the Arizona Cardinals, White posted impressive numbers, including 137 tackles, 2.5 sacks, 8 QB hits, and 9 tackles for loss, matching a career high. His ability to contribute as an every-down linebacker is evident, even though some teams view him as more of a weak-side linebacker rather than a middle linebacker. Despite his strong performance, White remains unsigned, likely due to teams prioritizing other linebackers such as Nick Bolton and Robert Spillane earlier in free agency. However, his consistent tackling ability, reasonable missed tackle rate, 5.5%, and effectiveness as a blitzer make him a valuable asset. Additionally, his projected market value of $5.8 million makes him a cost-effective option. While Dallas may choose to hold off on further linebacker acquisitions until the NFL draft, adding White would enhance their depth and experience without preventing them from selecting another linebacker in April. Given his production, versatility, and affordability, he could be a smart late free agency addition for the Cowboys.